Don't you just stand still and give up!
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the grand return of one of my favorite video game franchises growing up, the Budokai Tenkaichi series. I used to play the hell out of Tenkaichi 2 and 3 on the PS2 back in the day, and it honestly made me tear up a little bit when I was able to boot this game up and realized it was worth every bit of the hype it was getting leading up to its release. And today, I'm hunting down the Platinum Trophy for it. With 50 trophies total, including the Platinum, let's get into it. So a majority of the trophies in this game come from doing the episode battles, this game's version of the story mode, like almost half, I think like 22 out of 50, something like that. In this mode, you get a chance to not only play as our good old boy Guko, but also we get a chance to play as other characters like Vegetable, a music instrument, and
Could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum.
But now we also get a chance to play as a couple of villains throughout the story, so that's also kind of neat. Now, everybody and their brother knows how the story of Dragon Ball goes. Hell, I bet George Washington could probably tell you how it goes, so I'm not going to retell it. However, this game does something very cool and offer branching paths in the story based on either a choice in a cutscene or, as I came to hate later on, beat a fight in a certain amount of time. Some of these branching paths get pretty interesting and lengthy, so I don't want to go over them because I don't want to spoil them for you, but there are several trophies for beating these branching story paths. So I decided I'd just go over what I'd consider like the hardest fight in each character's story and pop all those characters like story mode trophies in. Also, just to get ahead of the comments, yes, these fights become significantly easier if you use the sparking mode mechanic, but with the exception of like 3 fights, of course sparking mode makes things easier. I mean, come on, just look at it. So, first character on the list is it's the Great Ape fight. It's the Great Ape fight. Come on, it's the biggest meme in the game right now at how hard it is. That being said, though, I do think there's a mission that's even harder than this one that I'll get to in a bit. The main reason this fight was hard for me personally is the giant characters have such ridiculous hyper armor, and that this version of Goku you have to fight him with just sucks Dragon Balls, man. That being said, it only took me 5 tries to beat him, so get good shit. Next up is Vegeta, and honestly, his was probably like the easiest story mode out of all of them. Like, I didn't struggle a single time that whole story mode. I'm sorry to all my fellow Vegeta fans out there. I'm with you. I'm sad that I don't got much more to talk about other than like the branching paths you can take that I don't want to spoil. But his was just the easier story mode. I don't know what to tell you. Next, we get Gohan, and his hardest fight was definitely in the Resurrection F Saga and his fight against Frieza. This is mainly his hardest fight because you have to beat both a Frieza soldier and Frieza in a certain amount of time in order to unlock a branching path that you need for one of the story trophies for Gohan. This is one of those win in a certain time limit kind of fights, and honestly, while it is difficult, it's probably got like the least strict time limit out of all of those. And I know I suck at fighting this mission in the footage, but if you have any skill and your hands aren't cramping from an all-day marathon of ranked matches, fuck SS4 Gogeta, by the way. This fight shouldn't be too difficult. Also, from here on out, whenever I have to say beat X character or characters, just assume I mean I have to beat said characters in a very strict time limit. Piccolo was an odd one because you get his branching path and thus his story mode trophies for a choice you make during a cutscene where Goku fights Android 19 and is starting to suffer from the effects of the heart virus. So I decided to pick between 2 particularly difficult fights that you can do if you're like more of a completionist and you want to just complete all the branching paths in the game. It's either between his fight with second form Frieza on Namek or his fight with Android 17. Hell, in the fight with Frieza, you have to even dodge his third form's ult that he may or may not do. the CPU is a bit jank from time to time, and when within a time frame with Piccolo that has a terrible moveset for trying to finish this fight as quick as possible, with the exception of like maybe if you spam, like if you abuse his special beam mechanic, since it makes it so that the CPU can't lock onto you, but that's neither here nor there. The fight with 17 is just as frustrating, as you have to whittle down his health bar low enough for Cell to jump in and take over the fight. Then you have to beat his ass like a Cherokee drum fast enough to beat this mission, but because like gets you an alternate ending, which doesn't count, which like I said doesn't really count towards Piccolo's trophy, but it's just something if you want to do as a completionist. I'd complain more, but like I said, these branching paths aren't mandatory for Piccolo's trophies. Otherwise, I'd probably be like a raving lunatic by now. For future Trunks, it's easily this mission where you have to fight Goku Black and Zamasu. The timing, once again, is insanely strict on this mission. You have to beat Goku Black before the game forces Zamasu to take his place, or you won't get the branching story path, and you need that branching story path for one of his trophies. So it also adds like another layer on top of the difficulty. So best advice I can give you is just like, if you don't beat Goku Black, I'd say like if you don't beat Goku Black pretty much, or get his health to like the last health bar, by the time he finishes like his little monologue, you pretty much got to restart. There's no way. Frieza's hardest fight was also in the Resurrection F Saga, and it's when you have to beat Goku and Vegeta. You have to beat Goku's ass as much as possible before he transforms blue and you turn golden. After that, I'm pretty sure he needs to either be dead or as close to dead as possible whenever Frieza and Beerus start talking, so you can get yourself as much time as possible when fighting Vegeta. And even then, you pretty much have to be demolishing both of them the moment they appear on screen, or you won't get the second route, which leads to an alternate story path, which, say it with me, is something you need for a trophy. Act 3 Begins, I think, is the name of the mission for Goku Black story mode. And you remember when I said that I think there's a mission harder than Grade A Vegeta? This is it. And as a matter of fact, I'd go so far as to say this mission is the hardest mission in the game if you're going for the Platinum Trophy. Full stop. And it's all because of the timer. You have to beat Goku and Vegeta in blue, each of them with 6 health bars, pretty much at the speed of light, or you won't get the branching path that you need for the Proof of Justice trophy. If you stop attacking for even a minute, you won't have enough time. You have to restart. I don't remember off the top of my head during this recording the dialogue that Goku Black has, but if there's a certain line of dialogue where if you don't beat him I think it's Goku Black. If you don't win the fight before that line of dialogue, you have to restart. Full stop. There is no, once that dialogue starts, even if you were like going to win during the dialogue will still make you take like I think it's the canon route instead of like the alternate path route. So my best advice to you is abuse the hell out of Sparky mode in this fight. Abuse it every single chance you get to go into it. Do it, or you just won't have a chance. Jiren's story also wasn't that hard, if I'm being honest, and that's not really surprising considering how overpowered he is in the show and in the game. Still, I went ahead and I chose this one battle you'll do if you're going for the true strength ending, and it's basically just an endurance fight against Android 17, Golden Frieza, Vegeta, and Goku Blue. This fight can kind of sneak up on you if you're not watching your health. But I figure if you're staying on top of things, it's more of like an endurance test than anything else. Now we move on to the tournament trophies, which basically asks you to win 5 out of the 6 tournament types in the game. I don't really know why they didn't decide to give the Yamcha games its own trophy, but whatever, I guess. I was originally going to try and do a cool YouTube trophy hunter thing and only unlock these trophies by playing the tournaments online, but at the time I recorded all of my footage, literally nobody was doing any tournaments other than like the World Martial Arts Tournament. Maybe a Cell Games here or there, but I used the World Martial Arts Tournament as like a test to see if I could get the trophies offline, and it turns out you could. So I'm sorry I didn't do the cool YouTuber thing and suffer play online trying to win online tournaments. I'm sorry. The second to last set of trophies I have jumbled up here, one of which has to deal with the 3 kinds of balls dragons have. No, I will not be rephrasing my statement. And a bunch of like miscellaneous trophies that I've kind of all like clumped all together. The miscellaneous trophies in particular seem to come in like groups of 2, but you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Dream Battle asks you to complete 30 bonus battles, which is an alternate mode underneath the episode battle option where you and everyone else who plays this game can make custom battles and upload them, which is really cool as far as I've seen. It's probably going to be like that, and the online aspect are probably going to be what really hold this game up. But as far as I know, as far as the trophy is concerned, it only counts the custom battles the game already comes with and not ones made by other players. Rookie and Seasoned Warrior just asked you to get to level 5 and 20 each, player level 5 and 20 each, which if you're just as into this game as I am, that'll happen in like no problem, no time whatsoever. Plus the Dragon Balls do make that easier later on. I earned the Zenionaire, I think, and Big Spender pretty much back to back. One asking you to make 1,000,000 zenny, and the other one asking you to spend 1,000,000 zenny. A little something and Ready for Anything want you to get 10 and 50 ability items respectively. These are little boosters that you can equip to characters to do certain things like boosting their ki blast damage, automatically recharge ki after a time, or even just boosting stats on certain maps. New challengers and a gathering of rivals want you to unlock 10 and 40 characters. Rookie title collector and title collector want you to earn 1 and 100 titles. Unfortunately, these last 2 trophies, prepping for battle and showing off, didn't record properly because they ask you to customize character and your player card. As for the Dragon Balls, all you really need to do is gather the 7 Dragon Balls of a certain type, then you make a wish. How you go about getting these balls is a little I have 12-year-old humor. You can only really get the regular and Namekian Dragon Balls by doing offline fights. And for the Namekian ones specifically, you can only get them from doing offline fights. But I don't know about like the other 2. I don't know if there's a chance you can earn the super or regular Dragon Balls online. I've never seen them pop up, but maybe there's a chance. But they're also the Namekian ones are also the rarest by far. I once counted the amount of fights I went through between getting one Namekian Dragon Ball, and then I started counting each fight, and I counted each fight between getting one and the other. And I counted like 30 plus fights. So good luck on the grind with those. I recommend just picking a strong character, picking Hercule, and just going to town. The regular ones do drop, do drop pretty regular, pun intended, I guess, without having to think too much about it. And the Super Dragon Balls, as far as I know, the main 3 ways you can get a whole set is by beating Goku's story mode. You can win Trunks' alternate story path ending. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. And I think you also get one by beating Jiren's ending. By getting his true strength ending, I think you get a full set. Lastly, we've got what I categorized as the combat trophies, which are trophies you can get just by doing the combat in the game. A taste for victory and winning streak you get by winning 10 and 100 matches each. Fated Confrontation is where you see 20 special banter scenes. These mostly consist of the intro and outros of fights where characters talk to each other. A Flair for Fighting asks that you view 20 special finishers. Now, as far as I know, there's only 3 special finishers in the game, which are Super Saiyan Goku's Angry Kamehameha, Roshi's Evil Containment Wave, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku's Dragon Fist. Unfortunately, you'll kind of just have to pick one or maybe 2, like split it up, like do 10 here, do 10 there. But you'll probably have to just grind these out. This is probably the only trophy in the game that I felt like a little bit of a grind, but doing it 20 times, it's not too bad. Finally, here at the end, I saved these set of trophies because these are the last ones I got before I unlocked the Platinum Trophy, Encounter with New Rivals, and Connected Rivals. These trophies want you to fight in 3 and 100 online matches, respectfully. After a couple hours of grinding away on the ranked mode, I finally unlocked the Connected Rivals trophy as well as the Platinum Trophy. All in all, I'm in love with this game. I pretty much no-lifed this game the minute it came out. My family is very concerned. The trophies in this game aren't actually all that bad to go for either. Most of them you'll probably unlock just by naturally playing the game. Like I said, almost half of the trophies are just playing all of the story mode, except for like the one that you need to do like 20 special finishers. That one is like the only real one that I felt was kind of a grind. But other than that, it's not too bad in my opinion. 10 out of 10 would definitely smash Yajirobe.